says live up there. Gotcha. All right, well, good. Look at that, 12:01. That's my fault. So good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of October. It's just unbelievable. It's like people already started to shop for Thanksgiving. You guys check the visual, make sure I'm not cut off up there, at least from what I see here. So there's the rest of me. So first of all, this is our Chat with the Chief session for October. We're going to do a session today at 12, and then we're going to do another session at 6 o'clock this evening. Our point today is like always, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on where we are with our crime in the city, a little bit of update there, talk a little bit about what's been going on, what we have going on today, and what we'll be seeing tomorrow. And then I did want to share with you, we got a little bit of a different setting today, right? There's a little bit different background. Crystal is here with me today. She's going to help me out, but we got some different lighting, some different backgrounds. So what I'm going to ask, and need a favor, if anyone is logged on yet, would you shoot me a message or here on Facebook and let me know that visually the picture's coming through okay, and audioly that we sound all right, just to check in. All joy. So you know what, Crystal, we're gonna have to do something like the first person that tells us things are good, we're gonna have to send them like some type of kudos or gift card or something. Joy, thank you for doing that. Joy, so let me ask you while I got you here before we get started, how do you like the new background? Do you like the blue and the white as opposed to the dark blue? Just your thoughts. But it looks a little different. It makes me look a little younger. So anything like that'll be beneficial. But Joy, thank you for being here today. So, like I said, we're just going to talk about some topics. But what I'd like to touch base on first is just share with you a little bit about where the department is crime-wise. So, as you know, 2023 was a really rough year for us in our city. We were able to cut our violent crime, our shootings and our homicide by 50% in 2024. Now, like baseball players, I'm not spiking the ball on any across the goal line by any means, but last year was a decades low year for us, and we are under where we were last year. So the reason I want to look at those things, when we are under the number of shootings we had last year, we are under that number. We're down from 46 to 42. This time last year we had 17 homicides in our city. Currently today we have 11. We have about a 7% reduction in violent crime, about a 6% reduction in overall crime. That's burglaries, auto theft, larcenies. A lot of those things are just reported online after they happen. But the ones we're really focusing on, working with our mayor, our city management, is homicides and our gun violence. In both of those categories, we are down from record flow last year. So, and I want to make sure. Hey, Carrie, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. And Carrie, thank you for everything. It really helped me out a lot this week. I appreciate that. But when we talk about crime numbers and data, I just want to be very, very cognizant that those data points are not just data. They're not just information that we look at. Those are people. Those are neighborhoods, communities, individuals. Again, and you've heard me say it before, is why I look at that is I want to know if our strategies and what we're doing, our direction of our department, if we're seeing crime decrease, then we need to double down on that stuff. We need to really take a hard look and, all right, this is working, this strategy, we need to continue. If we're doing these strategies and we're seeing crime increase, then we got to tweak it, we got to change it. And if we're flatlining, I need to see how we can improve it. What is something we can do new? Now, where do we get that from? We get that from taking a hard look at our own department, our own agency. We get that from talking to citizens and interacting. But we also get that from reading, looking at what's going on around departments across the country, and interacting with the other six of the 7 cities, our sister city over here in Hampton, our partners across the water. This morning I just spoke with Chief Hires and Captain Cup. They're both in Colorado. It's a Chiefs of Police conference. It's about 4,000 law enforcement executives up in Colorado, and they're looking at new strategies, public safeties in schools. They're looking at dealing with issues with fentanyl. They're dealing with issues. They're looking at new technology, new interview techniques, new strategies, how all of those things play together to make our city safer. And so we get calls from departments across the state of Virginia and some outside about, hey, how are you seeing some of these numbers? How are you doing on recruiting? And then we're calling other departments about, hey, we're looking at this technology. Have you used this? Have you seen that? And we learn from each other, right? I think that's very, very beneficial. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read each post that comes through, each message. Now, I will tell you, I will probably skip one by mistake, charge that to my heart. But I will Crystal will help me, and you may hear me say, Crystal, can you scroll back up? I want to make sure I got all that correctly. But I don't want to miss one. I'm going to do my best to hit on each one of these that come through. So I talked, Carrie, I got you again. Carrie, thank you for everything. Joy, I like it, but the other was fine too. No thanks necessary. I just enjoy these chats and enjoy being informed in my community. Joy, thank you. I appreciate that. Look, I saw them carrying the old backdrop out yesterday, and I have to say I had to take a moment in the hallway. Right? I saw the new one coming in, and this one does flip, so there is the same style sort of on the back. But I saw the old backdrop, and it was, I will tell you, Joy, we had patched that thing together a little bit. It'd seen some better days. But seeing that walk out of here, I was like, oh, I remember. After looking closer, the lighter background is better against your dark uniform. I appreciate that. See, that's why I gotta have people around me that know what they're doing with lighting and stuff. Because I was just like, turn the lights on. Let's do it. Fluorescent bulb, whatever. Debbie, good afternoon, Chief. Glad to see you. Debbie, thank you. Appreciate you being here with us this afternoon. Annette, good afternoon. Good to see you. Annette, I'm glad you're here today. Thank you for that. It means a lot. So I just wanted to share with you, we're down in violent crime, we're down in our property crime, we're down in crime overall, and we are certainly down in our violent crime, especially our shootings and our homicides. And I look at those numbers every Monday and every Thursday. Every Thursday we have our CompStat meeting or our Intel meeting. So it's every Thursday from 1 to 3, right? So it's CompStat, Intel, CompStat, Intel. CompStat is we're having the 3 precincts come in and talk about globally what's going on in their precinct, what's going on in a geographical area. And I want the lieutenants and the captain to present to myself and the command staff so we know that they know what's going on in the area, what crimes, what issues they're facing, and how can we help them. And it's not all crime, right? Some of it is lighting, some of it is blight, some of it is towed vehicles, some of it is dogs that are running loose in the community. So those things are important. How do we collectively work together? And it also creates a venue where one precinct might learn a strategy or some technique from another precinct. Then on the opposite Thursday that's when we have our Intel meetings. And the Intel meetings are more of a direct focus on Steve is doing robberies. We're having a string of robberies. This is the individual we're focusing on. This individual is moving narcotics. This individual is selling stolen firearms. This individual is implicated in 2 homicides. This individual is actually wanted for a shooting, and these are how we're going about trying to locate that individual. So those are very, very important. We have Moses. It's good to have you on, my friend. I appreciate you, sir. I don't know about that, but it means a lot that you're here today, and I appreciate that. But our assistant city manager came and sat through our CompStat meeting, and I think it's great being informed and looking about what's going on in the community, what's going on in our neighborhoods, and how can the city management help from a larger perspective. So I really appreciated Mr. Clayton spending some time. I will tell you, Marie, thank you for being here. It means a lot. I appreciate that. And Carrie, you're saying looks good on perfect. Thank you. I will tell you, I really want to thank the officers for the work that they did over the weekend. It was a busy weekend for me. Started out, really enjoyed going to the Alzheimer's Walk, important work, awareness. The mayor was there. It was great. I got to hear some comments from him and other officials there, and then we walked to promote awareness and walked for Alzheimer's. And that's, I've known a couple individuals who've been very, very close to me that have had that disease. It is a horrible disease. The people that help and take care of others, individuals who have that, I think are just so full of compassion. But I got to meet some great individuals. I got to walk with some folks out there. I did my good deed of the day. There was one individual who stumbled, and my story is going to be, they really messed up their thumb, but it was just a little road rash. But I got to put a Band-Aid, right? So I'm sure the fire department, paramedics were like, hey, the chief's got this. So it was good. But I really had a good time. There's people out walking their dogs, people out talking. It was just a really, really good event. I enjoyed doing that with the mayor and some city staff that were there. I got to meet a lot of vendors. Um, it was just a really, really good event. I left there and went to a fair down at the Boys and Girls Club that was put on. It was kind of a health fair, mental health and wellness. We had different vendors there, so I got to spend a little bit of time and talk to them about each one of their products and what they had going on. And then I left there and went to a high school football game. So I don't know if there's any pictures out there. I'm just going to tell you what happened. So I used to go to the football game, and I walk 1 or 2 laps around both sides, visitors and home team, whether it's two Newport News teams at Todd Stadium or a team from Hampton and Newport News, regardless. Because we have officers working both sides, the security staff, they do a great job. And I just want to thank them for working. I talked to some people in the stands and individuals that are walking around. And so on Saturday, Woodside was playing. And I get over to the Woodside side. I believe it was Woodside and Bethel. And, Woodside has a great band. There's a lot of our high schools do. Woodside has a great band. And the director there, the band director, said, "Hey, Chief, how about you direct the band, right?" And I'm like, "I don't know how to do that." They had to be joking. They're like, "No. You get up there and you move your hands to the music." And I'm like, I don't know how to." They're like, "Chief." So they're like, "Are you guys serious?" So I actually crawled up this carry. I went up this ladder. I get on this platform like I'm scared I'm going to fall off. And I see the kids, their eyes get real big, and then that scared me. My eyes got real big. And the director said, "Just start moving your hands." So I started doing the band thing, right? I've seen folks do it at choirs and in churches, and so I'm doing the motions, and believe it or not, the band starts playing, right? They stand up, and we had like a minute halftime or a minute timeout on the field. Well, little did I know, they moved the real directors off to the left and the right side, so they were really directing. So, but I'm standing there. So, man, I just had a great time climbing down. It was just really, really neat to interact with our students, man. I love that, and it was just great. So I finished up there at the football game. Got teased a little bit, and then we had a protest in our city, as you probably saw across the 7 cities across the state, really across the country. And myself and Captain Spence and our mayor, Mayor Jones, responded. Now, we had officers in case there was any issues. I'm glad to say and thankful to say that there were not. But we walked, so they were at Tech Center. They were the individuals demonstrating, protesting, if you will, making their voice heard. We had no issues whatsoever. Some of the traffic was a little slower because individuals would slow down and wave, honk their horn, look, read something, whatever. But myself and the mayor and Captain Spence walked the line, I guess, if you will, because they were on the corner and then went down the streets. And we finished and turned around and walked it back. So I got to meet some interesting people and hear some of their thoughts. For me, it's about safety. Regardless of the message or the thoughts or what's being demonstrated on. For me, it was about people being safe, and I really appreciate how professional they were. We didn't have any issues whatsoever. We did have officers that were in the area if needed, but no one saw them, or they shouldn't have. And we were just able to walk and interact with people. And I think that always lowers tensions. Several people think this for being there. I'm not getting into any of the political side of it. I'm getting into making sure that individuals who choose to exercise their right and demonstrate are safe in our city. And I really appreciated working with the organizers. Captain Spence and his team met with them and talked with them a few days before. I got to meet them that morning or that afternoon, and it went very orderly. I felt from the chief's position. So feel like, Chief, well, how many are there? I don't do crowd estimations. What I'm interested in, did everybody walk away safe? So that was Saturday. Let me catch up. Joy, are you going to this Werner civil trial that is supposed to go to the end of the month, or can you not say? So right now, I have not been subpoenaed to that civil trial. I think right now we're working through some motions and documents and stuff like that we have to provide. The police department, response and did. but as of right now, no, unless that I would be subpoenaed to. But we will have representation there from the department, as I'm sure you know. Mary, Mary, thank you. I appreciate you being here today. Thank you for that, for joining us. So a couple other things I want to touch base on. Like I said, we're here in October. I cannot believe Thanksgiving's next month, and then we roll right into Christmas. I will tell you, this is my favorite time of year for a couple reasons. One, I like the cooler weather, seeing the leaves turn right in fall, a little bit cooler in the evening. I don't know, it's just something about this time of year. It's my favorite time of year. Maybe it's because the holidays are right around the corner. But September, October, November, December, the last 4 months. But I was thankful enough. I asked the mayor and the city management, to go home and see my family in Cincinnati. My mom and dad and sister are there. So I was able to go there last week and spend a little bit of time with them and get to see them. I came back here on Thursday of last week. But it was just good to catch up with them. My parents are both getting a little bit older, so to see them and interact. I'm blessed that my sister is there too. It was just good to I wanted to make sure we got through our last academy graduation, and then was able to get some time away and go up to see them. So Chief Hires and Chief Creswell held the fort down here. It was just good. Family. You guys know, right? Family's important. So as we speak about family, let me talk to you a little bit, share a little bit with you about some things that are going on in the department. So we will have tomorrow. You've heard me talk about the Young Adult Police Commissioners. So the 2025-2026 school year of Young Adult Police Commissioners starts tomorrow. This is supposed to be, Terry, don't laugh at me. This is supposed to be a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, and a senior from each high school, including Achievable Dream. With six high schools, we should have 24 students. And we meet with them every Wednesday, and we talk about what are their expectations of city government, what are their expectations of their police department, how do things look through their eyes, what do they see in society, how do they feel about things that are going on. So 24 kids, we meet with them every Wednesday for about 3 hours. We feed them, have interactions. Media outlets come in, teach them how to do interviews. They will do interviews with me. We'll do community walks. We'll work at the food bank. I will do open forums with each of their schools where they will help facilitate myself and 4 or 5 other individuals, someone from special victims and someone from forensics, who always get the best questions, into about 100 students, and just have conversations with them. So I really, really enjoy that. So we're supposed to have 24 kids. I got the count, the official count, yesterday. We're supposed to have 24 kids, right? You heard me say it, Chris. 24. We have 52 kids showing up tomorrow. I don't know how we're getting them here. We might have to get a school bus, but 52 students, high school students, want to come and interact with this police department. We're going to do everything in our ability to do it. I just think that is so important. We learn as much from them. I learn as much from them as they do from us. I just think that is amazing. That would be the highest number. And I understand some people fall, pull out in the middle of the year, and people are into sports, but that number, I think last year we had 44, 46, 52. They were giving me how many from each. We'll do a swearing in. They were giving me how many from each high school. And Judge Flythe, usually for the last 6-7 years, has been the judge who we have a swearing in ceremony, and she signs them all, right? They swear in and signs them all, and it's pretty amazing. We have debates, we have open discussions, we have roundtable discussions, pick different topics and talk about. We do some presentations. They do vision boards, and to see some of these high school kids I remember one that really got to me about 4 years ago. They have all these magazines, right? They're cutting them up, putting the vision board together. And this one individual, this one young man, he put a picture of a man in a suit. And man, this gets me choked up. Sandra, it's good to have you. Thank you. Got me at a moment here. He had a man in a suit, and when they go around and talk about that, he stood up said blah, 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 and this individual represents the father I want to be. I didn't have a father growing up, and this represents the type of father I want to be. And I was like, man, you could have heard a pin drop. And you create that environment where young people can open up, right, and to see the officers open up. Diverse group, diverse department. It's really impactful to me. And some of the conversations there, they talk about issues of school, we talk about issues of social media. They tell us about their grades. I write a lot of recommendation letters to the military or to colleges. I have a couple that have asked me, hey, Chief, I'd really like you to write a letter of recommendation, and that is the least I can do. I just think our youth are some of the most talented people, and I would put the youth of Newport News up against anybody. I just love those kids, man. So that starts tomorrow, and I'm really, really excited. And then when I go to football games or events in the community and see them, it's just really cool. It's just really, really cool. So I really enjoy it, and to see them move on and get into college or military or the workforce, and then they come back and interact with. It's just amazing to me, and I see the relationship they build with officers, and I think that makes us a better city. I think that makes us a better department. It's just amazing. So Sandra, thank you for being here. Is it Miss Young? Good afternoon, Chief. Thank you for Miss Young. Thank you for that. I don't want to say that first name wrong. In that print of what is that font 2? But Miss Young, thank you for being here. Ms. Cox, you know that was going to happen. Well, Carrie, thank you. I know you've been a big part in giving some advice, and I would tell you, Monica White, Captain Funiak, Lieutenant Galt, they just do an amazing job. All the school resource officers interact with our young people. And I'll tell you, myself and the chiefs, the assistant chiefs as well, that come down. We'd like to see those kids, hear about them, and they'll tell you like how they're doing, how their football team's doing, or how their baseball team's doing, or how their grades are, what's going on in their life, what's up with their family. It's really great. Hi, Deshaun, how are you, my friend? It's good to have you on here too. It's good to see you, my friend. I appreciate that. Thanks for taking the time to be here. But I really have a passion for youth. I tell them all the time. They drive me crazy sometimes. But I think all of us make mistakes, and for other people to spend time and give back. And I've seen a lot of officers change, right? Officers will come in and you start interacting with those kids, man. It's really something. So I'm really excited for that. That kicks off tomorrow, and you'll see us out in the community a lot as we go forward. Coming up, we just had our academy class graduation. We graduated, what do we have, 16, 17 new recruits that just graduated this month of October. And we have another class that will graduate in January, so that's right around the corner. And I think we're right at 17, 18 in that class as well. And we just started a new class today. I missed them. They came here, I think, to get some paperwork signed and some photographs, and they'll start getting outfitted with their academy class uniforms, right? And we're going to go meet them next week, myself and the command staff here. But we have 15 new recruits that just started, and they will graduate right before the summer of next year. So I'm excited to have them in, and just individuals that are willing to do this job, individuals that are willing to hey, I will leave my family, I'll leave my house, whatever, and come here and do this job, answer calls for service, respond to 911 calls when people are in need, and they don't know what kind of calls they're going to get. They don't know what they're going to see. And they face and they look at and they see or expose to some of the things I would just wish people never had to see. So people that are willing to do that, to be in a place of service for others, that's impactful. That means a lot to me. So I appreciate our academy staff. They will take 15 diverse individuals, and I don't just mean in skin color. I mean in background, experiences, languages, and mold them into a Newport News police officer. And then they get to graduate. A family member pins their badge on them. I tell you, they will never forget that day. And then eventually they'll graduate and have a field training officer for 3 or 4 months, and then they're on patrol. So it takes us about a year But we are hiring. If anybody is interested, a good friend of mine told me that her daughter is interested in looking at law enforcement and said, hey, look, she's only looking at one department. And so I think she's coming down here on Friday to do some paperwork. I got another call from an individual up in Richmond. She's been down to talk to our forensic staff, and she's going to do a couple ride-alongs. And man, I would love, brilliant young lady. I'd love for her to come on and be part of this department if it's for her, right? And that's what I want people to interact and look at our department if it's something that they want to do. If law enforcement is something that you're interested in, I would love for you to take a look at our department. We train twice as much as the state requires. Our academy is about 7 months long. We do have a new academy. It's laced with technology. We're looking at adding some new technology about how to do interviews. And if you say something not the best way to frame something in an interview, it will correct you and say, now you've re-victimized the victim, and here's a better way to say that and give you suggestions. So it's just really important. So I'm thankful for the men and women who are doing this job. And I'm also thankful for the men and women who are in the academy to do this job, and men and women who want to serve and improve the quality of life of our citizens. That matters to me. Catherine, I'm sorry. I stopped at one of the many work zones where the police are set up to alert traffic. I offered the police officer a coffee or a hot cup. You offered them a hot cocoa. All right. I kindly said no thank you, but was amazed when I simply said thank you for your service. Before I go any further, are you trying to get me choked up on here? I can't. We got a pair of sunglasses I can put on. Oh my gosh. Kindly said no thank you, but was amazed when I simply said thank you for your service. Day in and day out, all put yourselves in harm's way for all of us again. Thank you so much. Wow. Ms. Dowden, I really appreciate that. I will tell you that means more. That means more to officers than any medal they can get. That means more to them than any plaque that they can put on the wall. That matters. And for men and women who do this job, to see someone post that, for you to take the time to do that, but to see you post that and hear that, and I'm telling you, that stuff happens all the time. I just left my assistant before I came over here, and I was reading emails, and I got 2 letters of just thanking officers for what they do. One was a situation that an individual's autistic son, and another was just from responding to a critical call where someone was in fear. And just to take the time to write that matters. And I will give you this. If you are, or someone is interested in joining this department, this is like highly classified stuff. I get asked a lot, like, Chief, what are you looking for? The academy is going to teach you how to drive the vehicle, use the computer. They're going to teach you all this stuff on our Batman belt. They're going to teach you search and seizure. They're going to teach you the laws, 4th and 14th. They're going to teach you all of that. What they cannot teach you. Just think outside the box, be creative, and here's the third thing that I'm looking for to join this department. You have to care about other people. I can't teach that. There's no PowerPoint that, hey, I can show you the benefit, how people will work with you and share information with you, and I can show you the detriment if you don't treat people well, if you're disrespectful to people of the conflict that can cause. And hey, I'm not telling you anything. It has to be. And it doesn't matter to me what the issue is, right? The best detectives are the ones that can sit across from someone and conduct an interview, regardless of what that individual may or may not be charged with, and have a conversation, right? We have to treat people with respect. And if we do that at the forefront, everything else we do falls into place. If you care about somebody, you're going to write a good report. If you care about somebody, you're going to do a follow-up investigation. If you care about somebody, what their issue is matters to you. And that's what I want. We talk a lot about that when I talk to the recruits, especially, and then when they talk to these high school students, right? They both want the same thing. They just say it differently, and that's impactful. That's impactful. Chief, you need to promote Sergeant Fig to lieutenant. He is what the department needs. Well, I'll tell you, you're talking about Figueroa down south. He does an amazing job. That guy is a worker. People love working for him. He has a great rapport. And I'll tell you, he'll tell you like black and white. He was like, "No, you look, I can't let you cross the barrier." Well, and he was like, "I appreciate that." He'd do it respectfully, but he's very, very straightforward. I will tell you, Deshaun, when he's at a scene, just being transparent with you, uh, I know that scene's going to be handled, regardless of what it is. He's just a constant professional. He does a great job. Can we let him do the sergeant thing for a while? Can I have him down there doing that for a little bit, and then we'll talk a lieutenant thing? But I'll put right down that you recommended him, but let me use him for a sergeant a little bit. He's doing phenomenal, and the way he carries himself and the way that he handles situation, I want him to, and the way he treats people, I want him to embed that in the officers that work for him, the officers that he works around. But I will certainly pass that on, my friend. And that you are looking for people who care about people. It shows. Yeah, you think so? Try to hide that a little bit. Cheryl, I want you to personally make sure there is an arrest in the burglary of my house. Thanks, Cheryl Parks. I'll tell you, Ms. Gallagher, Deshaun, thank you. Ms. Gallagher, I'll tell you, I've seen your messages, and we are certainly trying. What I can tell you is never give up hope. There are some cases, and you can refer. It doesn't matter if it's a robbery or burglary or vehicle theft, but ones that really hit home are like a homicide or a shooting, crimes against person, right? There are some cases where the physical evidence is right there. There's camera footage, maybe even a video that captured it. There's 5 witnesses that are ready to come forward. They all got the same description. Their account of what happened is dead on, accurate. Boom. And we're able to make that arrest quickly, much like yesterday, a situation that happened with an aggravated assault in the morning. By 5 o'clock, I got a call from the captain that an arrest had been made. And I will tell you, I felt for the victim, absolutely, but I also felt for the suspect and the suspect's mother. When you hear that story, right, I felt for that. But some cases don't get solved right away. But I don't want you to give up hope. Sometimes we know there are witnesses who don't want to come forward. Some cases don't have any evidence. Some cases don't have video footage or cameras that capture an image. But there are cases where we know who committed that crime, but we're not able to make an arrest and prosecute that case in court. Our Commonwealth attorneys do a great job, but they've got to work with the evidence that we provide. We have dialogue about what else do we need in this case. But just please don't give up, don't get frustrated. I believe right before I left for Cincinnati, I was briefed. I think there's a homicide case in the early 2000s. I'm not 2000s. 2021, 2022. It's 3 or 4 years old now that we're getting ready to make an arrest on, and that family's been hurting. There are other cases that we're able to make an arrest right away. Like this year, we've had 11 homicides. Of those 11, 8 have been cleared by an arrest. Like someone has been being held accountable. 6 of those 8 were domestic related, individuals that knew each other, and the other 3 we continue to work on. And that one that I thought was going to be extremely difficult, that's the one that's making the most progress right now. So you just don't. It's when people come forward, when we uncover someone who may be arrested for something else and shares, hey, well, I can tell you what happened here. But just don't give up hope. So, Ms. Gallagher, I really appreciate that, and I promise we're working on it. I promise. Robin, good afternoon, Chief. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for all you do. Getting ready to thank some heroes tonight. Association of Chiefs of Police McDonald's fundraiser. I have about 10 towns to visit in 3 hours. Oh my gosh. Hugs, cards, autographs, and of course selfies. Robin, you are killing me with selfies. Well, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for all that busy stuff going on, that you took time to join us today. It means a lot, and I appreciate it. So thank you for that. So we talked about our new recruit class. We talked about our commissioners that are starting. I wanted to thank the officers that helped and were present for the rally that took place, demonstration, protest, if you will, on Saturday. Just how professional everyone was, and for the directors also who set that up. That our points of contact, or the safety officers, I guess you would call it. That things went really well and very respectful, and I appreciate that. Is there anything I left off there that I wanted to hit on? So the walk tomorrow, right? So I should. So Got a couple apologies to make. Robin, thanks again. I appreciate you. A couple apologies. One, um, this is Domestic Violence Month, and it's also uh, Breast Cancer Month. So I usually have my pink badge on. It is on my dresser. I was gone for a week. Every time I think to put it on, I'm like, well, let me take this uniform to the cleaner, and I forget to put. So I'm going to get that done. I promise. Uh, but I've seen a couple. I know Chief Hires has his. I've seen a couple others. I think that's awesome as we promote awareness for breast cancer. But it's also Domestic Violence Month. And tomorrow, right? Tomorrow evening, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Love for you to come out and join us. We're going to go for a walk now. We ain't going for miles. We're taking one loop around the fountain at City Center. We're going to talk about domestic violence. It impacts so many people. Um, we will have a list of speakers. There's usually a youth, a teenager who speaks that either has seen it or has been, grew up, or friends that have gone through it. I think sometimes we forget how things affect our kids or the youth of our city. We'll have people from the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Dr. Chavers will be there as well. Cheryl, that works for the department, and officers. So there'll be some speeches, some prayers, and then we will, as a group, as this large group, it seems like it grows every year. I'm going to invite the community out right now. If you want to come out and walk with us, we're going to walk, take one lap around the fountain. We're going to take a large picture, and then just kind of hang out and talk and fellowship together. It's really, really, done some things there against gun violence, homicide support group, and domestic violence walk tomorrow. There's also several donations in the precincts here at police headquarters. I know some churches. I was at the church on Sunday that had a donation box, and what we ask, oh my gosh, Justin, my friend, glad to hear you mention the walk tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing everyone. Justin, man, I can't wait to see you. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh man, you threw me off. You got me smiling. So the walk tomorrow, and there are donation boxes, and a lot of times it's like a lot of things that I've learning from domestic violence survivors and partnerships like we have with Transitions. I've learned some things that need to be donated, right? And it's hygiene products, toothpaste, toothbrushes, diapers, soaps, shampoo, those type of things that you wouldn't really think about. But to hear that, it's just incredible. And then what happens? We'll collect all these donation boxes, and we'll take them to different centers and groups that we partner with for domestic violence. And there's a lot of partners with that in the city as well. I have to thank Bishop Riddick and Gethsemane Church for the great partnership they have with us. It means a lot. Just a phenomenal, not only for what he does in the community, his congregation. We've had promotion ceremonies there. We've had award ceremonies there. Just great what they do. I got invited to go watch soccer leagues there over the summer and just hang out. I just had a really good time, and I just think that I think they do a phenomenal job, and I appreciate all the partners that we have and the different things we do in this city. So that I just wanted to share with that and invite our community. I want to invite Newport News out at 5 o'clock tomorrow at City Center to hear some remarks about domestic violence. We're going to have a large group, and like I said, we're just going to take one walk around the fountain. And it's not that long, but it's good fellowship and talking and just to have some conversation and interact with each other. I think that we're very blessed. We just finished our make sure I say it right, Crystal. Faith in Blue week. We had, catch this, coffee, clergy, and what's the other? Cops, coffee, and clergy. So in different precincts, they met with our chaplains and officers and just interact with our community over a cup of coffee. I want to thank all the establishments that allowed us to partner with them and be there. We had blessings of the badges. We've had chaplains and pastors from all over our city come to police headquarters and pray for officers and pray for decreased violence in our city. They went to the precincts as well. It's just we have such a great group. I owe them all dinner. We were going to go last night, there's some that couldn't make it, and I got to catch up with them. But I will tell you, they just do a great service to us, our citizens as well, right? When they come on the scene and interact with a family that might be going through a suicide or a child death or a traffic accident or, God forbid, a homicide, their interactions that they do is just phenomenal. And it's very, very, they just are a tremendous asset to our department. And one of the things I get asked by other departments is, do you have a chaplain program? And how do you put it together? Because they have such a big impact on the officers as well. And so I'm very appreciative of what they do. Dr. Cherry also attends just about every one of our homicide support groups, our domestic violence groups. I'm just very, very appreciative of the work that she does, her and Mr. Satchel, and all of those that are in our chaplain program. Mentor to me, Pastor Maxwell, also active in our chaplain program and his church. Just phenomenal, the outreach that they do, not only with youth, but our community, law enforcement. Very, very appreciative. We've also held many services at his church, and when I say services, I mean award ceremonies and promotion ceremonies. So I say that to say we do have a promotion ceremony coming up that is set in November. We're going to be at Temple Baptist, I believe, right? Temple Baptist for that promotion ceremony. We had a lot of individuals promoted about a month ago, so that's always exciting. It's hard, though. You do those assessment centers, and you sit down with interviews, and you're doing those promotions to try to get the right leadership. And I'll tell you, one of the things, Joy, thank you for that. That's a great visual for the Faith in Blue. Yeah, the coffee, clergy, and the cops. It was amazing. But we're selecting sergeants and lieutenants and captains and assistant chiefs. We have a three-person panel, so I will be part of that panel, one of the other assistant chiefs, and then it's always someone from the community. So we've had individuals that work at the Boys and Girls Club. Our last sergeants and lieutenants process, the president of the NAACP, Jennifer Brooks, sat on that panel to help us make selections. I will make sure that I personally invite her to the promotion ceremony. And I want this community to know that the NAACP president helps select leadership in this department. And the reason that I want citizens involved is citizens ask different questions. They look at things differently, right? I'm looking at policy and procedure. I'm looking about how do you interact with people. But it's very different when a mother or a citizen says, what are you going to do when you respond to two kids that got into trouble, ran away from home, and because of issues at home? Wow. Right now, there's a textbook answer of we got to notify them, right, do the report. But they don't want to know that. They want to know how you're going to interact with that child. And that's impactful. And when you have citizens on a promotional panel talking to individuals who want to move up in leadership in this organization, and you're asking those type of questions, you're getting to the heart of how you treat people. Right? It's like Dr. Lyons talks to me all the time about wet grass and dry grass. I hope I don't botch this up. Wet grass and dry grass. And critical incidents happen. When those critical incidents happen, it's like a match, right? And if you have wet the grass in your community, if you have strong interaction in your community, when that match hits that wet grass, it will fizzle, go out. There will be a little bit of smoke. The wind carries that away. But if you don't have those interactions on that dry grass and that critical incident happens and you drop that match, it ignites. And the same wind that carried the other smoke away will spread that fire. Right? So that's why it's so important to be ingrained with our community, the partnerships we have, the NAACP, our faith leaders, our churches, our Commonwealth Attorney's Office, the fire department, juvenile services, Jared Grimes, works in utilities, our Hispanic community. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Our school system. I was with Dr. Mitchell yesterday. We have a great relationship with Newport News Public Schools. Had a great event at Minchville yesterday. I got to see some new landscaping and new outdoor learning. It's just beautiful. Myself and Chief Grinstead and Chief Creswell and others were there. And you know who we saw at Minchville High School? Some of the young adult police commissioners that stopped in the hallway with their friends and shook hands with police officers. That to me it was just amazing. Ms. Hernandez, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, so yeah, so that's important to me. Those relationships. People ask, reporters will ask me like, well, Chief, how are you getting these low numbers? How are you coming under? If you had a decade low last year, how are your numbers falling underneath that this year? And I will tell you, it is not. There is not one strategy. It is what we're doing in the police department. It plays a huge role when we talk about our staffing levels are better today than they were 2 years ago. We focus on every shooting. We respond to that just like it's a homicide. How quick we move to try to stop anything with retaliation. How much we're using technology and continue to expand that and build that out. Not to have Big Brother and spy on people, but to be able to police our communities safer and better so officers can go directly to the threat, directly to the situation. So we can respond to a fire where it is in the building and not look around and try to figure out where the smoke's coming from. It's that strategy. So that's a piece of the puzzle. But here are the other things. It's what the fire department does. It's what our Commonwealth attorneys do. It's what our Boys and Girls Club do with our youth. It's what our pastors do, our faith leaders. It's our interaction with schools. All those things are a piece of a puzzle that fit together to create a great framework. And at the end of the day, a final product of what crime reduction looks like. And when you have all those different things, right? The mayor talks about that crime is not just a police problem. It is a community problem. It's a city that we all have to come together. Private, elected, professional, our neighborhoods, and that matters when we're talking about Friday night nets or a midnight basketball program, football on Saturday, hanging out at City Center, and officers down there interacting with kids that are down there. All those things play a role, and I think there's some special things. I believe that God has truly blessed us in this city. I believe that prayer works. That the number of individuals that email me and, hey, I'm praying for the department, I'm praying for the city, I'm praying for officers. That means the world to me. And so we talk about, hey, Chief, what's the one thing? I can't tell you the one thing. I don't think it's one thing. What I do think it is, in each one of those elements that I talked about, are people. So if you said, what is it, I would say it is people caring about other people. People in uniform caring about other people. People in work caring about uniform, caring about other people. Teachers, right? Coaches caring about other people. That people in suits and ties in the courtroom. Judges caring about other people. I think that's the momentum we have, and I'm very, very thankful to be a part of it, and to be chief of police here in the city, but also to work with the men and women who do this job day in and day out. They're just phenomenal people. The drive that they have, the compassion that they have for other people. And I think back to the situation yesterday morning, stabbing in the early morning hours. The suspect was identified, getting an update on how that individual was at the hospital, getting an arrest made, and then hearing the story about the victim, the suspect, and the suspect's mother. That all, man, that was impactful to me. So as we continue to look, we had our meeting today. We did some policy review. If you didn't know, the police department has all kinds of policies and procedures. And what we want to do is not make sure we just do those and write them and sit them on a shelf. So we will update them and go over them. Do we need to make any changes? As we went through that today, and then just talked about, hey guys, here's some things we have going for us. Anybody want to talk about new ideas? What are we seeing out there? What's working in other jurisdictions? What's working well here that we need to build on? The partnership that we have with the state police, our federal partners, our surrounding jurisdictions, our crime analysts, our school resource officers. I've got school resource officers that are coaching football teams. And building those relationships with students. Those things matter. Let me get back here. Rebecca. Good afternoon, Chief. Hope all is well with your in your neck of the woods. Rebecca, so far so good. I can't complain. We have had a great last couple months. Have just been amazing. We're getting things done that I've got to make sure I get behind on emails a lot. My city manager heard that. He would be calling me right now because I like interacting with our officers. I like being in the community. I like going to the events that we have. I think that's important. I like shaking hands and meeting people, and some have really great things to say about the department. Some other offer ideas and suggestions, and some talk about bad encounters that they have. But all those things are helpful to me. And what I try to say at the end is, thank you for sharing that with me. Let me take a look at it and see if there's anything I can do. But at bare minimum, thank you for sharing your interaction. Um, if the whole community knows they matter, then the whole community is more likely to reach out and get involved. And you make it a point to let your community know they matter. Thank you. Man, so now I'm going to put that on my door. I'm gonna have Crystal find a way to shorten that, put that on my door. Maybe I got to shrink the font, but I like that. Thank you for that. That means a lot. I will tell you, the men and women that do this job, they matter to me. And you see, you said, I've heard one time that police work is like riding in an elevator in a 12-story building. And you stop on the first floor, because you never know what you're going to get from hour to hour, minute to minute, call to call. You stop on the first floor and you deal with people that are homeless, people that suffer from drug addiction. You stop on the second or third floor, and the next call is a single mother or single father trying to pay ends meet and unsure what their kids are into. You start on the fifth or sixth floor, and you might a family that both parents work, doing maybe one's doing two jobs, trying to run their kids from practice to practice, and events that they do, and all the hustle and bustle. You step on the seventh and eighth floor, and you deal with doctors and lawyers that want to know, why did you pull me over? We got to treat everybody and should treat everybody exactly the same. Now, do we get that right all the time? Absolutely not. I don't know of anybody that's perfect. Well, one, right? I don't know of anybody that was perfect. But we try to do better. We try to learn from each other. And every mistake that we make isn't discipline. It's how do we do better? And what I have found, that I think that starts at the top. So if we do something wrong as a department, this is the chief, I want to call and tell you, not every situation needs a traffic ticket. Not every situation needs an arrest. Sometimes it's pulling someone to the side and having a conversation. If anybody played sports, anybody who fumbles a football or strikes out or misses a basket, free throw, somebody who misses a spike from a volleyball, the coaches aren't throwing you off the team. They may pull you over and have a few words with you. But now let's get right back out there. It's building on and doing better. What is it called when you, the art of putting yourself in someone else's shoes? Officers never know what other people are going through, what they're facing. They may have just gotten some bad news or en route to the hospital for a loved one. Something tragic's happened in their life, dealing with something. And then we do a traffic stop because maybe they ran a red light not paying attention, rolled through a stop sign, whatever it is. And you've already got frustration in the car. The officer doesn't know that. But when you step back and look at that whole picture, you can see how feelings and emotion play a role. Our job is to identify ourselves and de-escalate that as quickly as possible and try to determine what the situation is. But every individual doesn't need a traffic ticket. And every individual doesn't have to be arrested. Sometimes it's please slow down. I want you to get to the hospital safely and drive careful. I remember hearing stories about Katie Thine, the last officer we lost in the line of duty, that had conversations like that with people. And that I believe makes us look better, and it makes a difference. So I got about 5 minutes left. Hope I haven't bored you too much. I really appreciate you logging in. A couple of things that we're working on as we move forward. We do have an academy that will graduate in January. We got a couple vacancies. Right now we're looking pretty good in our patrol side. We got a couple vacancies in our narcotics division. So as officers get field trained, we'll do some interviews in senior officers. We'll do some movement, probably make announcements in November, do interviews in December, and make movement in January. That'll kind of be as new officers getting out of field training. I want to make sure that we keep those staffing levels where they should be. Our major crimes division, our cold case, our aggravated assault, our special victims who deal with some of the hardest cases to ever look at and deal with. And then our narcotics side, our gang enforcement, our fugitive team, all of those things together, right? When we talk about all pieces, well, it's same in the department. There's all these different pieces that fit together in an overall strategy. We'll make sure we're staying strong in our school resource officer positions. We'll be doing some movement in January to get us set up for the new year. This week we got a couple meetings. We are looking at new technology. We're looking at some drones as a first responder. I want to share that and be open and transparent. I'm not looking to see what kind of food's being served in the cafeteria. I'm not looking to find the best parking space. Those drones will be deployed God forbid there's a shooting or a homicide or a robbery, that they will get to a scene quicker than an officer. And we talk about those type of crimes that oftentimes critical incident happens, the individual who caused that incident is walking away, citizens call and the officers are going to the incident, and they drive right past the individual who may have committed that, or had a part in that, or who witnessed in that. Those drones will be able to give us that surveillance. We'll be able to pinpoint much quicker and much safer. An officer can pull up on their computer or on their cell phone what they're driving into. That's a safety measure. We're also looking at technology. I told you about technology helps us do interviews better. We're also looking at technology that talks about stress management, critical incidents, dealing with psychologists. Right? When I started, if you saw something, if you went, God forbid, you went to a homicide one day, and 3 days later you went to a traffic fatality, and then, God forbid, a suicide. Those things all affect people. And we ask officers to do that every day. And then to go out and do a traffic stop or have citizens interactions. The citizens don't always know what an officer is going through his mind or her mind. But there are apps now that can link us directly with psychologists, and if we have so many interactions that could be considered emotional or trauma, that we can talk to someone. And I think creating that atmosphere. We also have a department psychologist. We have several units or divisions that are mandated to have a psychological visit. Not because I think anything's wrong with them, because I want to provide an outlet for them. And that really wasn't heard of 30, 40 years ago. So if you went to see the psychologist, there might be some stigmatism. It is my goal to create an atmosphere that we want physically and mentally well officers in our department. And I think it's important for this department to know that one of the groups that has to have a psychological visit is the chief of police and the 3 assistant chiefs. And we usually do ours in December, and we put it out there because I want this department to know that we will be talking to the department psychologist. I think that makes things better. I think it helps us be more. I think it creates, again, starting at the top, and taking away that stigmatism of, there might be something wrong. We have to see the department psychologist. We're all human. And psychology, science tells us we can suppress that, but it's going to come out some way or another. And individuals deal with that with their faith, maybe some physical activity, playing sports, athletics, reading, interacting with their family, their loved ones, their pets. I don't want it to come out in negative ways with anger, aggression, or alcohol. So that's one of the reasons that we provide that service. Ms. Williams, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Robert, speaking of Katie, why was my petition for her never looked at? Your petition never looked at. Robert, you might have to tell me that. I tried to come to the station with it because I could talk to you. They turned me away. Robert, yeah, so you got to help me. I'm not sure what petition. If you came to talk to me and just showed up, I may not have been here. I may have been in other meetings that were scheduled. But you let me know if there's something we can do. If you glad to sit down and talk together. I'm just not sure. I don't know if it was a petition for a street name or a day or something. Forgive me. I'm just not sure what that is. Still have a good relationship with her family. Just good people, and that was a hard time for us in this department. There's no playbook on how you address an officer killed in the line of duty. And again, I think that's just being open and transparent. And Robert, if I did something wrong or some mistake, I will openly apologize to you. I'm just not sure I remember the petition part. I'm not sure who turned you away. But if there was no meeting, and I like talking to the chief, and I may have not even been here. I don't know, so I apologize. I don't want to speak wrong. I'm just not sure. Let me close out with this. We're going to be back at 6 o'clock, kind of hitting on some of the things. Oh, medal. So, Robert, a petition to receive a medal of honor, medal of valor. There have been medals issued that were given to her family. If that's what you're talking about, that there has been medals given to that family. Believe me. Let me stop here a minute before I close out. Robert, just 1st of September, middle of September, I got to go up. I sit on this board that reviews applications for officers' names to be on the memorial wall. Not here in Newport News, but at the state capitol, right, where it has fallen officers, police officers, and firemen who died in the line of duty. and I got to go. I sat on that board. It's an honor to, and to read some of the, what's taken the life or someone's given their life in the line of duty in the state of Virginia, and we went up each year, and this year, I went over and saw officers' names from our department, and I saw Katie's name etched in marble and granite up there, and it's just a solemn place, man. It's just it's just something to sit and think about. I remember that day like it was yesterday. So in closing out, Robert kind of hit it for me. I just want to thank the men and women who do this job day in and day out. What you do is hard. Our dispatchers, our civilians that work in records, our folks here in media relations that are talking about stories that are going on in our community, highlighting what officers are doing. Officers that work day, evening, and midnight, our homicide detectives, our aggravated assault special victims, our special investigations division, what we do in the water, the traffic side of the house, K-9 officers, our school resource officers who are building relationships with our youth, our most vulnerable group in society. So Robert, I appreciate you, man. Absolutely. Thank you. I just the work that you guys do, it affects people's lives. Most individuals, some will call you and, hey, my son's having a birthday or my son did good grades. Could you? Most of the time we get a call when someone dials 911, when they're talking to a dispatcher and then that's sent to police or fire. It's usually something critical has happened. And to respond, have interactions, show your heart to people, trying to do it professional while others may not be, is challenging. And I am thinking you're not going to get rich doing this job. You're just not. But the service you have, the impact you make, I would submit to you that I can never pay enough to do this job. The lives that you change, the young people that you touch base with. I'll share with you our last graduation. I think you might have seen the video. Crystal put together a great video. But it's kind of customary for the chief of police to do the final inspection before the new recruits walk out on stage and go through the ceremony of graduation. So in doing that, I had a couple individuals, young kids, that came with me, and we did the inspection together. And when we finished, what I was hoping is I certainly wanted those young adults, those two young children, little boy and little girl, to see the officers. But more importantly, I wanted those officers who were standing, we went through each officer, right, made sure their ties didn't fall off. We were getting inspected by a little boy, a little girl, and the chief of police. I wanted the officers to remember how young people always look to them. Whether they're at a playground, riding by on a bus, playing outside in the front yard, or from a classroom. The young people are always looking at them. And to remember what we do this job for. Remember what we raised our right hand for to say we would serve other people. So I'm thankful for those that are in the academy now. I'm thankful for those that are applying online. I'm thankful for those that have been doing this job for years. And I'm thankful for those shoulders that we stand on that did this job and retired years ago. This is a great city. We're doing great things. We got the smartest scientists in the world. We're building the best ships in the world. And it's my hope that we have the best police department, certainly the most dedicated police department, not just here in the peninsula, but in the state of Virginia, not across the country. So I appreciate you guys spending some time with me. Robert, thank you, my friend. It means a lot. We'll be back at 6 o'clock. We'll talk about some other things. And again, just God bless you all. Be safe. Remember, if you're not back at 6 o'clock, I want to close Halloween right around the corner. There's going to be some ghosts and goblins out walking around, so please be careful with speed. I got a nice text from a individual about, hey, Chief, just want to make sure we're watching dogs around. It's a great point. Talked about it this morning. So just remember, Halloween's right around the corner. Give away the good candy, right? I don't know who eats those, what is that candy corn? No. They want the gummy bears, the Reese Cups, the Snickers, Milky Way. Matter of fact, we're going to be having a giveaway up at North Precinct. Officer Hamilton does a good job organizing that. So I'm going to be buying some candy, I guess, this weekend and getting set for that. But it won't be any candy corn, I can tell you. So just please be safe, be careful. God bless you guys. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. and we'll be back again and talk this evening. Okay? God bless you.